Buckle up, because what's about to drop will shake your whole spirit. This isn't some TikTok rumor or a messy blog headline. This is pure heartbreak at its rawest. Tiny Harris, wife, mother, and fighter, just had her entire world flipped upside down by a truth she never saw coming, all thanks to a DNA test she never wanted to open. Now, picture this. Finding out that your husband is the father of your best friend's baby. Unbelievable, right? But it's real. That little baby Shayna's been proudly showing off. Turns out the father is none other than T himself. When those results hit the table, time froze. Tiny didn't scream, didn't throw a thing. She just went still. Her face said it all. The same man who promised her forever, and the same woman she once called sis. Both hiding a truth so cruel, it makes betrayal look kind. Sources say Tiny's voice barely cracked as she whispered, "I knew it. I just didn't want to believe it." That one line changed everything. Every fake smile, every red carpet pose, every "we're fine" moment shattered right there. Suddenly, this wasn't just celebrity gossip. It felt like a crime scene of the heart. Atlanta stopped breathing for a second. What started as quiet whispers turned into a full-blown storm of loyalty, lies, and shattered trust. One envelope, one word, and boom. Tiny Harris's whole world exploded. That DNA test didn't just reveal a secret, it detonated an empire. For years, Tiny had been the definition of strength, standing tall through cheating rumors, public humiliation, and every "it's not what it looks like" excuse I ever threw her away. But nothing, absolutely nothing, can prepare you for the moment you realize your husband fathered your best friend's baby. That's not drama. That's emotional homicide. And the craziest part, the signs were there all along. Insiders say the tension between T and Shayna had been bubbling for months. The same Shayna who called Tiny sis shared her stage, did her hair, her nails, her everything. The betrayal cut so deep it left scars no apology could fix. This wasn't just a love triangle. It was the ultimate backstab, dressed in friendship. At first, nobody thought much of it, but soon her crew and Shayna were moving like they were joined at the hip. Late-night business meetings, secret inside jokes, and quick glances whenever Tiny wasn't around. It all started adding up. Tiny brushed it off, pretending not to notice because sometimes denial is cheaper than heartbreak. But when Shayna showed up glowing, looking happier than ever, that's when the whispers started catching fire. At first, people laughed it off, thinking it was just messy gossip. Shayna swore the baby's father was someone private, but private soon turned into protected. Folks started seeing things that didn't sit right. Cars pulling up at odd hours, a chain shining under a hoodie that looked way too familiar, and T.I. suddenly defending Shayna in every interview like his life depended on it. One producer even told Gossipville Vibe he used to check Tiny's mic levels. Now he's checking Shayna's pulse. That line alone had everyone's jaws on the floor. The night the truth finally landed was too quiet. Suspiciously quiet. Tiny came home to a plain package marked confidential. Inside was a folded-up lab report and a sticky note that read, "You deserve the truth." For a long time, she just stared at it. Everyone says they want the truth, until it shows up at your door, holding receipts. When she finally unfolded the paper, her hands started shaking. The words hit like a punch. DNA result 99.98% match. Father Clifford Harris Jr. Time stopped. Her breath froze mid-air. Her stomach dropped, and her mind replayed every memory, every laugh, every sis moment. Every time Shayna said, "Girl, you know I'd never hurt you." Tiny didn't scream, didn't throw a thing. She just whispered, "Not her." That was it. The moment her whole soul cracked. Minutes later, she called T. Witnesses say her voice was calm. Too calm. She asked just one question, "How long?" But T played dumb like always. Then Tiny read that one line from the report out loud. And boom, total silence. A silence so thick it felt like it was suffocating the phone line. That was the sound of truth hitting hard. By midnight, the Harris house was chaos. One of the kids overheard shouting and security cameras caught T storming out the door, phone in hand, muttering, "They'll ruin me." It was no longer just family drama. It was the moment the empire began to crumble, right before everyone's eyes. Tiny collapsed halfway down the staircase, and that was it. Her whole world came crashing down. Family rushed in, not to fix things, but just to keep her from completely breaking apart. The next morning, the internet smelled blood like sharks in a feeding frenzy. A gossip blog dropped blurred screenshots of the DNA report, and within hours, it went nuclear. Number Tidna was trending everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. Fans were split down the middle. Half were in shock, the other half calling it karma served cold. Memes flooded the timeline. Tiny crying, Shayna smiling with captions like, Sisterhood of the Traveling Lies. It was brutal. Then Shekinah made the worst move possible. She went live. Big mistake. The moment she appeared, her comments blew up with snake emojis, clown faces, and people asking, "Where your morals at, sis?" She tried to play victim, wiping her tears, saying, "Y'all don't know what really happened." But when someone straight up asked if T was the father, she froze. The chat went silent and then she quietly ended the live. That silence said everything. Meanwhile, insiders say T went into full-blown panic mode. He allegedly called Shekinah furious, threatening her with lawyers if she didn't stop feeding the blogs. One assistant even leaked a voice note, his tone sharp and desperate. You could hear him snap. "Do you realize what this could do to my legacy?" But by then, it was too late. The internet doesn't forgive and it definitely doesn't forget. Tiny though, she disappeared completely. No posts, no stories, no captions, just total silence. Her team claimed she was focusing on family, but insiders painted a darker picture. Sleepless nights, no appetite, panic attacks that left her shaking. One close friend said she walked into the studio, looked up at her gold records, and whispered, "All this, for what?" It was heartbreaking. Atlanta's whole social scene cracked overnight. People were taking sides. Some defended Tiny, calling her too loyal for her own good, while others whispered she'd known all along. That in Hollywood, some wives learn to tolerate humiliation as long as the checks keep coming. But this crossed a line no one could ignore. Old clips started resurfacing like ghosts. Fans dug up an old episode from their reality show where Tiny joked, "I trust Shekinah with everything." Viewers paused, zoomed in on T's smirk in the background, and one user commented, "Look at his face. He already knew." The receipts just kept stacking up, and before anyone could catch their breath, someone leaked text messages, allegedly between T and Shekinah from months before. And that's when things got real. The leaked texts said it all. Lines like, "You know, she don't understand me like you do, and we got to move carefully." People talk. Whether they were real or not, didn't matter. The internet treated every word like gospel. Those screenshots spread like wildfire, flooding blogs, comment sections, and every group chat from Atlanta to LA. Suddenly, Tiny's heartbreak wasn't private anymore. It was public entertainment. Commentators picked her pain apart, like sports analysts breaking down game tape. Every photo, every video clip, every old interview became evidence. Fans debated if she'd finally file for divorce, while lawyers began circling like vultures, offering exclusive representation. Even her inner circle couldn't stay silent. One close friend allegedly told Gossip Spill Vibe, "She's not just hurt, she's embarrassed." The betrayal came from both sides, her man and her sister friend. What cut the deepest wasn't just the affair, it was the deceit. The late-night business calls, the matching tattoos, the inside jokes that suddenly didn't feel innocent anymore. Tiny once laughed about trusting Shekinah to innocent anymore. Tiny once laughed about trusting Shekinah to watch her kids, to stand beside her on stage to protect her image when the world turned cold. That kind of trust doesn't rebuild, it burns. But there's something even darker bubbling underneath. Something no one's dared to talk about in public yet. A hidden video. Rumor has it that before the DNA test even dropped, Shekinah accidentally recorded a conversation with T inside her car. In that recording, he allegedly said, "We got to keep this between us till after the baby." If that video ever surfaces, this won't just be scandal, it'll turn legal. Bloggers are already teasing exclusive footage, and TMZ-style outlets are reportedly bidding thousands just for a glimpse. Every page wants a piece of this downfall because in today's world, tragedy pays better than truth. Behind the scenes, things are spiraling fast. Shekinah's own family is begging her to leave Atlanta, saying it's no longer safe after the backlash. Tiny's supporters have been swarming her comments, threatening to drop receipts from years back. Some even claim Tiny found photos on an old iPad, pictures that could destroy what's left of their reputations. And still, through all the chaos, one question echoes louder than the headlines. How long did they really think they could hide this? Because this isn't just an affair, it's betrayal broadcasted in 4K. Loyalty murdered in broad daylight. The same man who rapped about family values. The same woman who preached about sisterhood. Both caught by a simple piece of paper that doesn't lie. But something about this feels unfinished. Insiders are whispering that what happened after those DNA results was even worse. This DNA storm isn't over. It's just the beginning. That midnight phone call, that missing phone, that vanishing SUV, it all made the DNA test look like child's play. Tiny might have seen the truth printed in black and white. But what came next? That's when hearts truly shattered. The morning after the DNA revelation, Atlanta didn't just wake up, it trembled. This wasn't gossip anymore, it was war. Tiny didn't sleep that night. She sat in her car, engines still running, staring blankly at the dashboard. Like the blinking lights could somehow rewind time and give her back the years she'd lost to a lie. Around 7:00 a.m., she called the one person she still trusted, Monica. Insiders say Monica begged her to calm down, to breathe, to think, but Tiny couldn't hear a word of it. Her voice cracked as she cried out, "He made me defend him while he was making her a mother." That single line hit harder than any headline. It spread faster than the DNA story itself. A makeup artist who overheard the call allegedly leaked the recording. And by noon, every gossip page was quoting it like scripture. "He made me defend him while he was making her a mother." That's not just a quote, that's a scar. Meanwhile, Shekinah disappeared completely from social media. Her team released a weak statement claiming she was focusing on her child's well-being. But insiders told Gossip Spill Vibe she'd been told to lay low because Tiny's circle was done playing nice. Overnight, several of Tiny's close friends unfollowed Shekinah. Natoya Wright wiped old photos. Tamar Braxton even posted a cryptic quote, "You never lose friends. You just find out who's real." And everyone knew exactly who she meant. Then boom, the leaks started dropping again. Real or staged, no one could tell. But they broke the internet in minutes. Clearer screenshots surfaced, allegedly showing texts between T and Shekinah. One message read, "You know she'll never believe anything unless she sees it. Keep quiet till then." Another had Shekinah replying, "I can't do this no more. She's not the enemy." The internet lost its mind. Half the fans screamed it was fake, while the other half swore it read too real to be fake. And just when everyone thought the chaos couldn't go any deeper, an anonymous account dropped a bombshell audio clip, the voice sounding eerily like T spoke in a low, frustrated whisper. "You think I wanted this? You think I planned it? I told you to be careful." The clip ended abruptly, but that few seconds was all it took to send social media into a frenzy. By nightfall, hashtags were everywhere. Alliances were shifting. And every fan, every blogger, every ex-friend had something to say. The world wasn't just watching the Harris family fall apart. It was documenting every single crack in real time. The hashtags lit up the internet again. Hashtag #TPaternityTape hit trending in under an hour. It was chaos online. Tiny didn't post or speak publicly, but insiders say she played that leaked audio over and over, 10 times straight. Then something inside her snapped. She reportedly turned to her assistant and said, "If they want public, I'll give them public." That's when the game changed. By 6 p.m., Tiny's team dropped a cryptic Instagram post. Black background, white letters, no caption. It read, "When love turns into lies, even the truth feels dirty." Within 30 minutes, it hit 1 million views. The comments section turned into a war zone. Fans begging for answers, others demanding apologies, some just flooding it with broken heart emojis. But Tiny stayed silent, refusing to explain a thing. Behind closed doors though, she was moving strategic. Sources say her legal team began gathering everything. Every message, every bank transfer, every suspicious call log between T and Shekinah. Word was, they were preparing what insiders called a scorched earth move. Some even claim she brought in a top-tier Hollywood PR fixer, the same strategist who handled some of the messiest celebrity divorces in recent history. Tiny wasn't just heartbroken anymore, she was loading up for war. Meanwhile, T tried to rewrite the story. He went live on Instagram all calm and composed, flashing that PR-trained smile, saying folks were spreading false narratives and weaponizing the internet. But halfway through the live, one fan commented, "Then take another DNA test." His smile instantly cracked. He looked off camera, took a deep breath, and ended the live right there. No goodbye, no statement, just gone. That clip went viral before he could blink. Every influencer, rapper, and podcast host jumped on it. Mason Cameron even clowned him on their show, calling it the dirtiest ATL twist of the decade. Charlemagne brought it up on The Breakfast Club, saying, "If that test is real, he's done." Point blank. The streets were talking loud, and the silence from T only made it worse. Then, as if the internet hadn't seen enough, a video surfaced. It allegedly showed Shekinah walking into a studio session months before the scandal broke, wearing one of T's hoodies. You can hear someone behind the camera joking, "That's a little too comfortable, ain't it?" Shekinah laughed it off. But the fans didn't. The comments were ruthless. One viral reply read, "The hoodie gave birth before she did." Meanwhile, Tiny's emotional state hit rock bottom. Friends say she started quietly packing her things, moving room to room through a mansion that once overflowed with laughter, but now sat heavy and silent. One stylist told Gossipspill Vibe she stopped listening to music. She couldn't even bear her own voice playing. The Queen of Strength had gone quiet. And that silence, it was louder than any statement she could ever post. Tiny told friends that every song reminded her of a lie. Every beat, every lyric, every melody hit like a memory she wished she could erase. Then boom, the headline that flipped the whole internet upside down. T moves out of family home. Paparazzi caught him leaving in a black SUV. No wedding ring, no smile, just a man who looked empty. Those photos flooded social media like funeral pictures. Every outlet labeled it differently. Separation, crisis, collapse. But for Tiny, none of that mattered anymore. This wasn't about headlines, it was about survival. As for Shekinah, her silence turned into guilt. Insiders revealed she'd been texting Tiny nonstop, messages that went unanswered. One reportedly said, "I didn't mean for it to happen like this." Another read, please don't let them turn us into enemies, but betrayal doesn't come with a sorry big enough to fix it. Once trust breaks, it stays broken." Then came the next bombshell. Something darker. Tiny allegedly discovered financial trails, hush money, hidden cash apps, and wire transfers disguised as consulting fees. The amounts, they lined up exactly with Shekinah's pregnancy timeline. A source close to Tiny said she screenshotted everything and kept it in a folder titled, "Truth Hurts." When the blogs got wind of it, they went crazy. One headline screamed, "T paid Shekinah to stay silent during pregnancy." It was never confirmed, but honestly, it didn't have to be. After that DNA test, people were ready to believe anything. The foundation was already poisoned. Every rumor, no matter how wild, sounded real now. Fans turned into detectives overnight, rewatching old interviews, analyzing body language, pausing videos like FBI agents. One clip resurfaced of Tiny saying on a talk show, "You can't trust everyone who claps for you." The comments exploded. She'd been new, she saw it coming. That was a warning shot. Meanwhile, the most heartbreaking part of all, the baby became the center of speculation. The world knew his name, his mother, and now his alleged father. People debated would T acknowledge the child? Would Tiny walk away for good? Or would this end up in court? Every theory gained traction because at this point, every possibility felt believable. And as the scandal grew, the money started slipping away. Too, endorsement deals quietly vanished. Tiny's reality show renewal went on hold. Streaming platforms delayed Ty's next project, citing ongoing personal matters. The empire they'd built together was bleeding cash faster than they could stop it, but the emotional damage that was priceless. Friends say Tiny now spends hours sitting on her patio, staring into the distance, replaying the last 10 years like a movie with no happy ending. She gave love, loyalty, and forgiveness, and in return got lies, secrets, and silence. The woman who once smiled through every storm now just sits in quiet disbelief, wondering when exactly the fairy tale turned into a nightmare. One of Tiny's closest friends said she broke down one night and whispered, "I keep hearing his voice saying forever, and now it sounds like a lie every time." That line alone could crush your heart. Meanwhile, Shekinah's former assistant started speaking up, dropping receipts of their own. One claimed she overheard late-night calls months ago, T and Shekinah arguing about timing and when they'd finally tell Tiny the truth. Another insider said T was panicking, scared Tiny would find out before their reality show wrapped filming. Piece by piece, the puzzle came together, and it was ugly, undeniable, and beyond repair. By the third week, this wasn't a scandal anymore. It was a career extinction event. The empire was collapsing, reputation by reputation, and right in the middle of the chaos, Tiny got a message from a blocked number. It was a short voice note that said, "They're going to release everything if you don't stay quiet." She played it once, then twice, then immediately forwarded it to her lawyer. Because what Tiny didn't realize at that moment was that the story wasn't over, not even close. The DNA test was just the spark. The real fire was still coming. Whispers of leaked footage, secret court filings, and private recordings began floating around, like smoke before a blaze. And the rumor that what was coming next would make even T's most loyal fans walk away for good. The night before the biggest leak, Tiny stood in front of her mirror. No glam, no filters, no pretense, just pain staring back at her reflection. Sources say she whispered to herself, If this is what love costs, I'm done paying. But love doesn't leave quietly, and neither does revenge. By sunrise, Atlanta wasn't breathing, it was watching. Every phone screen was locked on gossip pages. Every fan account had one goal: to see what would leak next. And when it finally dropped, the internet didn't just break, it bled. A 47-second clip appeared on a private gossip page titled, "The Truth They Tried to Hide." The video looked like it was filmed inside a black SUV. Two voices, one male, one female. The man sounded exactly like T. You could hear him whisper, "You know this can't get out till she signs them papers." And the woman, Shekinah, replied softly, "I didn't ask for this tip. I just wanted love." That one line, "I just wanted love," became the most viral soundbite of the year. Within hours, it was everywhere. Edits, remixes, TikToks, Reels. People turning their private heartbreak into public entertainment. The internet feasted on the drama like it was a movie premiere. Hashtags exploded across every platform. Shekinah confession, hashtag Tiny deserves better, hashtag top files, all trending at once. Influencers made reaction videos. Fans posted theories, and the world couldn't look away. What started as a whisper of betrayal had now become a digital wildfire burning through careers, friendships, and family ties. And this time, not even silence could save anyone. Tiny saw the clip, too. One of her assistants claimed she just stared at her phone for a full 10 minutes, silent before whispering, "So, it's true, every word." That was the breaking point. But instead of collapsing again, something inside her flipped. The tears stopped flowing, but the pain didn't disappear. It just turned into fire. She grabbed her phone, opened her notes app, and started typing. What she wrote next sent shockwaves through the internet. Her post read, "I've loved loud. I've forgiven quietly, but betrayal this deep deserves light. Don't pity me. Pity the people who can't tell the truth." No names, no tags, but everyone knew exactly who she meant. Within minutes, the post exploded. 1 million likes in under 5 minutes. Verified celebs flooded her comments with hearts, prayers, and fire emojis. The Shade Room reposted it instantly, and social media went wild. Meanwhile, Shekinah vanished completely. No lives, no posts, no comments, just gone. And his world started collapsing in real time. Brand sponsors pulled out one after another. A major liquor company paused their collab deal, saying it was under review for reputational concerns. A music festival quietly scrubbed his name from its lineup. The empire he built on swagger, fame, and control was crumbling under the weight of one DNA test and one leaked recording. But no one was ready for Tiny's next move. She didn't rant online. She didn't throw shade. She did something far more powerful. She sat down for an exclusive interview, calm, composed, eyes glistening with tears. She said, "I've spent half my life defending a man who never defended me. Maybe now I'll finally defend myself." 12 words. That's all it took. Those words hit harder than any diss track could. Every major outlet replayed that clip nonstop. Fans flooded comment sections with, "This is the Tiny we needed. And that's how you take your power back." She wasn't angry anymore. She was free. But freedom came with a cost. Once Tiny broke her silence, other voices started rising. 2. A former assistant of Shekinah's came forward, claiming she'd seen T and Shekinah together multiple times during the pregnancy. Another insider said, T used to send someone else to secretly deliver things to Shekinah's house so no one would notice. At that point, this wasn't gossip. It was evidence stacked like dominoes, waiting to fall. Then the bombshell hit the legal papers. Documents surfaced online, unverified but explosive, suggesting Tiny's team had officially filed for legal separation. Fans didn't even wait for confirmation. They called it fact. Headlines screamed across every outlet. Tiny leaves T after DNA scandal, and Atlanta power couple officially splits. Whether the ink was dry or not, didn't matter. The story was already written. The chapter already closed. Behind the scenes, Shekinah's world turned to ice. Former friends unfollowed her. Her management dropped her quietly. Brand partners backed away without a word. The same internet that once hyped her up now treated her name like poison. And as the dust began to settle, one truth stood out. Tiny didn't just survive the betrayal, she owned it. Tiny didn't just survive the betrayal, she owned it. The woman once defined by forgiveness had become the face of resilience, and Atlanta had never seen a comeback story this raw. After the storm, Shekinah disappeared completely. She moved out of her house and was reportedly staying with a cousin just outside the city. The only time she was seen publicly was through the long lens of a paparazzi camera. No makeup, dark shades, baby in her arms. When a reporter called out asking if she had anything to say, she muttered softly, God knows the truth. But by then, the internet had already decided it did, too. Meanwhile, T made one last desperate attempt at saving face. He posted a long self-righteous caption about growth, forgiveness, and protecting my family, but fans weren't buying it for a second. The top comment under his post said it all. You protected your family by creating a new one. Ouch. Everything he built on control, his image, respect, endorsements, influence crumbled overnight. Even artists who once defended him fell silent. Word around Atlanta was simple. T lost the city. But Tiny wasn't done. Not even close. 3 weeks after the scandal, she came back stronger than ever with something no one saw coming. A brand new podcast called Truth Untold. And when the first episode dropped, it skyrocketed straight to #1 on Apple Podcasts in just hours. The title, When the DNA Doesn't Lie. In that episode, she didn't name names. She didn't have to. Her voice was raw but steady, trembling at times, yet powerful enough to shake hearts. She said, I was loyal to people who were rehearsing how to betray me. I ignored red flags because I thought love was enough. But the truth is, love without honesty is just performance. Those words hit deep. The internet exploded all over again. Clips from her podcast spread like wildfire across TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Fans crowned her the queen of surviving betrayal. Even people who once mocked her were now calling her a warrior, a woman who turned pain into purpose. As for T, his downfall turned into meme material. One viral edit showed clips from old interviews where he bragged about being the protector overlaid with captions, saying protecting everyone except his marriage. It was brutal, funny to some, heartbreaking to others, but one thing was certain, his reputation would never be the same again. And then came Shayna's quiet return. After a month of silence, she reactivated her account. Her first post, a simple photo of her holding her baby captioned, My Only Truth. She limited the comments, but that didn't stop the chaos. Twitter went up in flames with debates, threads, and think pieces. Some called her a victim caught in the crossfire. Others called her a villain who destroyed a family. But either way, the damage was done. Because by that point, it didn't matter who said what. Tiny had already won, not just in the court of public opinion, but in the hearts of millions who watched her rise from devastation to power. In the end, this wasn't just another celebrity scandal. It was a reckoning. A story about how fame twists friendships into business, how love becomes leverage, and how trust turns into collateral damage. Tiny didn't just survive the betrayal, she rewrote the ending. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe because this story, it's proof that in the world of fame, truth always finds its voice. And when it does, it roars. Insiders say Tiny refused to take T back no matter how many times he apologized. One source told Gossip Spill Vibe that he sent flowers, handwritten letters, even a brand new car trying to win her over. But Tiny sent everything back without hesitation. The message was loud and clear. Some things money just can't fix. Months later, she made her stance crystal clear on stage. During a live performance, she stepped out wearing a chain that spelled one word, free. The crowd went wild. The cheers shook the building. That moment went viral instantly with captions flooding social media. She turned pain into power. But what came next? Nobody saw that twist coming. Weeks after the chaos finally started to quiet down, Tiny reportedly received an anonymous package. Inside a small flash drive labeled the rest of the truth. The contents have never been publicly revealed, but insiders claim it contains more recordings. Ones that could expose more names, more lies, and even more betrayals. The mystery around that flash drive became its own obsession. Fans still speculate about what's on it. And then came the image that sealed her legacy. The photo that went viral worldwide. Tiny walking through the airport, sunglasses on, gum and unbuffed. Paparazzi shouted questions, cameras flashing from every angle. One reporter asked if she'd ever forgive them. She stopped for just a second, smiled faintly, and said, "Forgiveness is for peace, not for reunion." Then she walked away like a woman who'd already written her own ending. The crowd outside cheered. The internet lost its mind. That clip was replayed everywhere. Millions watched. Millions commented. But behind that cool smile was a woman who had survived the kind of heartbreak that would have broken most people, the kind of pain that teaches you exactly who you are. And when the truth finally stopped lying, the internet did what it always does. It crowned her. Tiny wasn't just a survivor. She became the queen of karma. In a world that thrives on chaos and clout, Tiny didn't just survive the storm. She owned it. She showed that no scandal, no betrayal, no headline could silence a woman who found her strength in the wreckage. Because sometimes walking away isn't weakness, it's the loudest victory of all. So now, ladies and gentlemen, the question isn't who lied, it's who's still standing when the truth finally catches up. Because in this city, loyalty is currency, and once it's spent, you can't ever buy it back. Tiny's tears turned into armor, her silence became headlines. And that DNA test, it wasn't just a result, it was the final chapter in a story written by betrayal. But here's the real twist. This was never just about love, cheating, or even revenge. No, this was about power, about how fame protects the guilty, how silence shields the wrong people, and how sometimes it takes a woman's public breakdown to expose a man's private sins. T.I. built his kingdom on charm, control, and cameras. Shekinah built hers on friendship and loyalty. But Tiny, she built hers on truth. And now that truth stands taller than any empire they could ever fake. Fans are calling it divine justice. Others are labeling it another Hollywood tragedy. But either way, everyone's still watching, still refreshing, still waiting for the next headline, the next leak, the next name to crumble under the weight of another DNA secret. Because in this world, secrets don't stay buried, they go viral. So, what do you think? Was Tiny's heartbreak karma or cruelty? Should Shekinah be forgiven, or should betrayal be a life sentence? Drop your thoughts down below, because the internet court never closes and gossip spill vibe never sleeps. Stay tuned, because if this is how it ends, just imagine how it began. This is Gossip Spill Vibe, where truth burns brighter than lies. And remember, this story isn't ending, it's just beginning. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next video, because in this world of fame and secrets, the truth always finds a way to come out. The truth always finds a way to come out.